Alright, hi guys. Okay, so this is a different book. This book is called Forever With You. I wrote this a while back and I never really finished it. I was wondering if you guys had any input on it. Maybe you guys could help me out. It's pretty long. It's 18 pages, so it might take a couple videos. Alright, so I might as well just get started. Alright, thanks. I got into the taxi and put my head back, shutting my eyes and breathing deeply, trying to clear my head of all negative thoughts. The past couple months oh, have been horrible for me. One bad thing after another. I was on my way to the airport and I was moving to Oak Hill, West Virginia to live with my father after my mother had passed away 2 months ago of leukemia. They had caught it late and couldn't stop it in time. I was supposed to live with my stepfather, Albert McCullum, but he disappeared one day, leaving behind a note that said, "Dear Heather, I'm sorry it came down to this, but I can't be here anymore. I have bought you a plane ticket and you will go live with your father. I'm sorry, Albert McCullum." So here I was, on my way to live with the man I had no memory of. I was going to be enrolled in school there for next semester, since there was only 2 weeks left in this one. There wasn't really a point in starting this late in the semester. I got on the plane and sat on the inside of the window so I could see out, and a man who was very large and kind of scary sat beside me. He had brown hair and it was very short, and he had a scar from his eyebrow down to his chin. I wondered how that had happened. I grabbed my iPod out of my carry-on bag and put on some music to pass the time. I guess I had fallen asleep when someone shook me awake. I opened my eyes to see the flight attendant standing over me. I looked around as she backed up and everyone had already gotten off. I stood and left after grabbing my bag and throwing my iPod in it. I left the airport after getting my luggage and got in another taxi. I gave the driver the address and he drove me there. This was my new home. It was beautiful. There was green everywhere. It was a log house, 3 stories high, with a wrap-around deck. I walked up to the gravel driveway till I came to the stone path that led to the door. My heart was trying to jump out of my chest. Oh God, I hoped he liked me. I loved my father already, and I hadn't even met him. I knocked on the door, and a couple seconds later he was standing there, door open, giving me a bear hug. As I buried myself in his chest, he smelt good, and I was comfortable. He let me grab He let me grab my bags and walked me into a room, showing me around the house as we made our way. We walked down the hall to the kitchen, and on both sides of the rooms were open pathways. One door on one side, that was the TV room, and that is the dining room. I looked to see a flat screen TV that covered the whole wall. It must have been like 10 feet long. I looked back at him. "Shut your mouth, or you might swallow a bug," he said, sat, sat walking up a set of stairs. I could hear his laughter from that direction, and followed him up. As I walked and saw a picture of my mother. She looked like she was 20 here. She was so pretty, with her brown hair and blue eyes and perfectly white smile, clear skin. Thank God she passed all of that down to me. The only thing I had in common with my father was my skin tone, and my mother had always said I had his nose, which I could see now. We walked down the hall. He pointed at the room at the end and said, "That's my room. Yours is up the stairs." I looked at him confused. I figured the room in the middle of the hall was mine. It was nice and big, but apparently not. I turned back and saw a staircase that looked like it was a princess's tower. It was all brick, like, and it looked aged. I walked up the stairs feeling like royalty. I almost wanted to cry. Why had my mother taken me away from this life? Everything was so majestic here and beautiful. I could find endless things to draw, and my imagination went wild. I got to the door and opened it. Inside was unbelievable. There was a bed with a canopy on it. It was red with gold lace around the edges with matching sheets, and I had my own bathroom, walk-in closet. I opened the doors and saw it was full of clothes that looked like they were just my size. All the styles I like to not I like to not emo, but not too preppy for a punk look, but I guess I looked at him a little weird, and he spoke when he saw my confusion. Albert called me and made arrangements. He told me what you liked in your sizes and stuff. Well, that was better than what I thought. Oh right, there was. Oh right, I said. I guess there was a window on both sides of the room, and a skylight over my bed so I could see the stars at night. Dad, tell me I'm dreaming. He looked at me with a little bit of surprise on his face because I had called him Dad for the first time. I smiled and walked over to him to hug him. That night, after exploring the house, I sat down for dinner and we talked about everything. He asked me about school, told him I was on the honor roll, plus I was a year ahead. I skipped a grade, so I was already going to grade 12. So did you have a boyfriend back in Ohio? He asked. No, I've never had a boyfriend, I answered honestly to that. After dinner, some people are coming over to meet you. They all live nearby. You can come get you can get there by horseback. He said. You have horses? I said, shocked again. Yeah, I have three. They're out back, just behind the pond, he said. I already loved it here. So who will I be meeting tonight? I asked, pretty shy. Hannah and Bill Connors and their son Sam. Well, that didn't sound too bad. How old is Sam? He's the same age as you. You guys were inseparable, he said, and then sighed. Until your mother took you away, he said, and sounded angry and hurt. I stepped around the table and hugged him and kissed his cheek. I love you, Dad, I said, then walked over to grab both of our empty plates and quickly washed them. He just sat there and watched me with a smirk on his face. I'm going to get ready, I said, and walked all the way up to my room. The blinds were closed to the windows, so I pushed them open. The shutters were closed to the windows, and I opened them. They were all rusty, but whatever. I looked out in front. It was truly beautiful here. I walked to the other window and opened it with a gasp. The view was breathtaking. You could see the mountains and the horses and the pond. I was so happy a tear ran down my cheeks. I could walk over to the bathroom to take a shower and saw a beautiful tub with paws lifting it off the ground. I decided to have a bubble bath instead. It was so relaxing I could fall asleep, but I couldn't. Everyone would be here soon. So I got out and did my hair and got dressed in a pair of black skinny jeans and purple tank top, grabbed my cozy looking white hoodie with fur inside. When I heard my name being called from the front yard, I didn't recognize the voice. I ran to the window to see a boy on a horse looking up at me with a smile on his face. Damn, was all I could think. I think I just died and went to heaven. Alright guys, that's the end of the chapter. It's almost 10 minutes, just in time. Alright, so I'll be posting the next chapter soon. Okay, thanks.